Hello my dear Goenkans. Today our topic is using data validation, adding subtotal in a database. So let's start with data validation. Data validation is used to restrict the cell entries within a specified range. So we use data validation for restricting the entries, the data entries which are against our rules. So we set a bunch of rules, we set a bunch of parameters, and if the data entering in the cell is violating that parameter, the data, it will get a prompt message where it will be displayed that you are trying something that is invalid. So let's see how we can keep data validation. First we have to select the data where we want to keep the data validation. For example, I want to keep data validation while entering the marks in a subject. So I'll select all the columns where marks are to be entered. Then we have to click on the choose the data tab. In the data tool group, we have to click on data validation, click on data validation, click on yes, and then here in settings, validation criteria. If you all can see in yellow, there is a drop down menu where we can choose, where we have to choose whole number. So in data drop down list, we will be, by default it has chosen between. So between will need two values. As I have already kept, minimum should be 5 and maximum is 100. So by keeping this minimum and maximum 100, okay, now you know what will happen if I try to enter 4 in a column. It will not allow that to enter. It will display a error alert that input is wrong. As you all can see, the value you entered is not valid. A user has restricted values that can be entered into the cell. Retry. So if I'll enter 5, yes, it will take 5 because I have chosen 5 as the minimum value and maximum as 100. So I cannot go above 100. Again you will get a error message. So either you have to specify the value between the range. This was how we can keep data validation. It's not only between, you can also keep only a minimum value, a greater than value, or a less than value. It can be choice based. There are so many things that there are so many criterias, as you all can see. Not between, we can also choose a number that should not between this and this, or equal to. We can choose this number that should be equal to this, not equal to. So we have a lot of choice where we can keep a data validation in our data. This was about data validation. Now next topic is adding subtotal in database. For that I have already kept another worksheet in my this day, workbook, where I have keep the sales executive sales, proper sales of sales executive. That this is month wise. So in the month of March, this sales executive has done these sales. On the month of April, this has done these sales. So these are some, this is some data that I have prepared for the sub value, for adding sub values in database. You know, this subtotal feature in a database helps us to manage, analyze, and extract specific information from rows of related data. But to apply subtotal, we should remember that database must be sorted. And if you all can see here, our database is already sorted. The number is sorted. Now let's just see, let's just sort this names as well. Sort A to Z, X, sort A to Z. So as you all can see, our data is, no, let's just see, our data is sort month, March, April, May, sales, and then name. Now let's begin. For that, what we have to do is we have to again go into the data tab. We have to choose in the outline group subtotal option. We'll click on it. Okay, we have to first choose a range. So let's just choose a range. Now subtotal. If you all can see. Now subtotal, where you want to add subtotal. I want to do the subtotal for the months column. So we'll choose at each change in drop down list we'll choose month, so that we get information according to the specified month. So we'll get subtotals of the month here. Now which function you want to use? I want to use sum. Use function sum. Now what sum you want to do? So you want to do sum on what? I want to do the sum on sales. Now replace current sub values and summary of below data. Okay. Now if you all can see, it has given here March total. So this is the total sales in the month of March, and then this is the total sales in the month of April, then this is the total sales in the month of May, and then I'm getting grand total. As you already know, the previous data I had in the previous data we had not done any kind of summation, we had not done any kind of segregation. Using subtotal we get the segregated values, and if you all can see, we can get it. This is the grand total. Here if you all can see, this is the March total, April total, May total, and if you will see, this is the tallied thing where you will get everything, the number of sales executive that have done sales in the month of March, then April, then May, then all the three grand totals. So this was about adding subtotal in database. Thank you so much. Take care.